So guys, now I will share with you the strategy to tackle INICET exam. See, you just had your NEET MDS exam, right? And sooner you're going to have your INICET, and you just have around 45 days for it. For future reference, if you guys are more than that, it's even better. But in year 2023, we just have 45 days. So see, for an ICT, two things I want to discuss with you. What is the difference between INICET and NEET MDS? And what will be the change here? In NEET MDS, you have more or less about fixed question, or you can say number of questions are very relatable, right? You know that you're going to have around 14 questions per subject. In INICET, there is no such rule. You may have zero question from any subject. You may have one or two question from any subject, right? Second thing is nowadays INICT is more of a clinical base, right? But NEET MDS it could be clinical, more so sometimes it's theoretical. In INICT you have more weightage for dental subject compared to medical, and in NEET you have around equal weightage for these subject. In NEET MDS, you have the limitation of standard books. They have to put question from standard books only. They can't just randomly put question from anywhere. In this, they can put questions from standard book, or they can put question from SRC papers, from articles. There's no limitation to it. So that's why an ICT become very tricky. Also, there's one more difference is in NEET MDS, you have more than 300 seats, and in INICT, you have just 10 to 20 seats. So margin of error is larger in NEET MDS but small in INICT. So you have more chances of losing marks in INICT for negative. You should avoid negative marking in INICT more. You can still afford some negative marking in MDS, but here you should only deal with accuracy. Accuracy is very must here. So how to deal with this? In these 45 days, do not assume it as 45 days. There's nothing new you have to read. Remember, whether it's INICET or it's NEET MDS, subject and topics are same. Just note you don't have just 45 days for it. You have spent last year preparing these also. You are reading the theoretical part for NEET MDS also. You just adding 45 days to it. Don't assume it as you are doing something brand new for it. Okay, so don't live in dilemma that we have to do something extraordinary for it. Focus on your dental subjects more than medical. Just don't even start up with medical. If you have very less time, in worst case scenario, you can even leave it, or what you can do is you can do last year papers for it, or what you can do is NEET, PG, and INICET PG. You can attempt those only required portion only. You can attempt those people, those questions actually, right? In this, you do not have to deal with theoretical part more or less. You have to focus on clinical portion only. Like you should focus more on say drug of choice, treatment of choice, approaches, new methods, and techniques, right? Those peculiar facts, controversial questions, don't ignore them. If there's some questions you are confusing between them, the more chances of being appeared in your exam. Don't just go for the straightforward question. You're not going to have straightforward question. There won't be any no copy paste questions. Try different type of question. In your need, you have direct MCQ, but it is not the same in INICET. In INICET, you will have assertions and reasoning. You will have multiple correct answers. You will have match the following in form of MCQ. They just give you few words here, they just give you something here, then just give you in pattern like this, and they just ask you A I is correct or A J is correct, right? Or they can even ask you multiple sequence. So you need to prepare those kind of questions. Just because you know the answer is not sufficient. Have the habit of rejecting wrong answers. You should have a reason why there's certain option, why B is not correct, why C is not correct. And if you can answer those things, that will help you in these kind of questions. Right? Another thing is practice MCQ way more than revising notes. If you have less time, like in 45 days, don't waste time on revising or making notes especially. Don't waste your time on that. For the 45 days, practice as many MCQ you can do and try to tackle your silly mistakes. Revise your NEET MDS if you can. And last year papers, NEET and I9, especially I9 CET papers. Find your mistakes and correct them. Was it just silly mistakes where you just know the answer but because you didn't pay attention you end up making it wrong? Was it lack of concept or you made mistakes because you weren't prepared? Right. In this, I now I tell you what you should read and you can afford to see for final year subject. Pay more attention to the subject. You just read them as much as in even depth you can. All the numbers, values, everything. You have to read all the numbers, values, names, facts, drug of choice, management, differentiating features, right? Focus on these topics more. And for medical, you can spend some time, you can avoid biochem and micro. In these only, do just carbs, vitamin, enzymes. In micro, focus just general micro, bacteria, especially corona. Focus on corona. Read about its treatment, its methods of diagnosis and all everything. Okay. For a neck, head and neck is very important. For general medicine and physio and for surgical also, for surgery is thyroid, swelling of neck. For general medicine and physio, focus on CVS, RS, renal. Things like diabetes mellitus and hypertension, angina, heart failure, respiratory failures, and epilepsy. These are the important topics you should at least read. Kidney disease, chronic kidney disease, liver failure, cirrhosis. Read about this. This is at least you should do this. You have to focus more on more on final year subjects only. Don't waste your time on medical subjects. Try to cram everything there. Okay. So these are all the important things you should read. This is the strategy you have to follow. Just one more thing I would love to add is at least at this period do more than 500 MCQs. You should be able to do it. Avoid mistakes. I'm saying it again and again. Most of you do not fail because you don't know enough. You fail because you overestimate yourself. You do not fail, like most of you people, you do not fail because you attempted less. Most of you fail because you attempted more than more than you should. And you know this limit. You should know this limit. You have 4 MC, right? Only mark those. Only mark where you are absolutely sure. And if total found to be less than planned, right? Like you are planning to attempt 150 question and you only sure about like 50 questions only, right? But you at least want to score 150 or 100. So then only where you know okay, at this point only when you know this is not enough, then you can take the risk of attempting where you are more than 50% sure. You have 4 options. You should know why I told you you should know why certain option is not correct. You should know at this point that A is correct, D is correct. D is basically no, sorry, A is wrong and D is wrong. Then one of the answer will be between B and C. If you are more than 50% sure that it's B, like it is like 60-40 surety, 70-30 surety, then only attempt it. If you are 50-50 sure, don't attempt. One more advice, what most of the people did wrong in NEET MDS is start with medical subjects sometimes. And when you start with medical subjects, you're like, first question, you have no idea. Second question, you have no idea. Third question, you have no idea. And till you reach dental, you become underconfident. Don't waste your time on assuming or guessing options where you are not sure. Don't waste your time. Do not spend more than 45 seconds. Do not waste any time more than 45 seconds on any question. And if you do that, your time management will be beautiful. Make this a rule. 45 seconds per question. This is all the things you should focus on. And if you have any more doubts, we can discuss anytime. Thank you very much and best of the luck for your exam.